minutes to everyone. There's that. That for you. You want to give that chart? And there's that. Well, I'm hanging in there. I don't know. This is what I wrote. Oh, wait. No, we got to keep that. Yeah, that piece. Maybe wait. Okay. What are those? Oh, you got them too? Okay. Just want to make sure. Yeah. All last week. Make sure everything was in place.
Letters of correspondence. To assume.
I'm
assuming that is correct. The paper just handed to me at the same time as you.
How are you doing? Oh, how are you? I'm Phyllis. I'm the one that's the office. The volunteers. Yeah. Thank you.
Pass this one down.
You want one?
Pass it down. That's a different
Are
one.
these two different, same ones?
There's one, just one page.
Just one, right?
Just one for each. Should be four there.
Okay. Hello?
Hi, Karen. You ready to get started?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got 132. I hereby call the regular session of the LMRFD Board of Directors to session. Roll call of board members.
Deborah Cass.
Eric Terrell.
Charlotte Kiffer.
Ellen Raybauer.
And note that Mr. Campbell is not present. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of minutes. A, executive session for 1/28/2019, set 1, A3, A4, items A, B, C, and set 2A, item A.
Chairman Carroll, we moved this from, I think, the last meeting till now. My question is, were there any changes to those minutes from the last set that we received?
I didn't see any changes.
And I get confused. Who did these? Were these ones that Ellen did, or are these the ones that Karen did?
I think there's ones Ellen did. I think the 28th is mine.
Okay. So there were no changes since the last ones? I make a motion to approve.
A second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the executive minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Set B, special minutes for 2/14/2009.
I have one change. On page 2, the second bullet, the word at the end of the sentence where it says regarding a doctor, the word should be therapist.
We have reviewed the tape several times, and the word that I used was doctor. And the person that I presented does have a doctorate and is a doctor.
Okay.
So
All right.
Karen reviewed that several times,
Okay.
and the word used was doctor.
Okay. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the special minutes. All those in favor?
Aye. I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at this meeting.
Okay, I vote aye. Approved. Item C, executive minutes for 2/25/2018.
Should be 19.
I believe there should be 19. set 1, A3, A4, items A, D, F, H, and J. Set 2, A3, A4, items B, C, and E. And set 3, A1, items F, G, I, and J.
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second? Oh, you second?
I'll second. We have a motion and a second to approve the executive minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. And item D, regular minutes for 2/25/2019.
I make a motion to approve. I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the regular minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Okay. 5, reports. February 2019 financial report. I don't know how to get him on the phone. I mean,
His number
is on
is
here.
right there. Same thing, just conference.
This is Gabe.
Hi Gabe, this is Eric with the LMRFD.
Hey Eric, how you doing?
Hey, we're ready for your report, sir.
Hit the merge.
Okay.
So you can merge with
Oh, hold on.
Should do it automatically, gotta give it a second.
Okay, there it goes. Karen, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Gabe.
All right. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. You have the February report in your packet. One thing you'll notice I try to do on the February report is kind of meet some of the requests that have come from board members on some more detail on the expense side. And so when I get to that, we'll kind of go through that a little bit to see if there's any specific questions. But revenue for the month of February, we received $16,739. We were under budget by $41,517. You'll see part of that was related to our property tax revenue. Of 21,000 of that variance was related to the property tax revenue. Our non-levy revenue was under by 24,000. I don't know if the chief has shared this information or will share it as part of his report. But unbeknownst to the chief or myself, our ambulance biller stopped billing. And so that's why we're seeing that variance. Both Chief and I have been working on getting fire recovery in and up and running. They will be able to go back and back bill, but we will see a little bit of a lag in our ambulance revenue piece. On the expense side, our total expenses for the month were $68,163, which was $1,700 over budget. We were under budget, as you can see from the report, in most categories. The reason that we threw that overage off though for the month was due to timing of the audit fees, as well as our legal expense. Year to date, total revenue is at $241,568. Our budget year to date is $228,000, so we are $13,000 over budget. As you can see, $85,000 is over budget in property tax revenue, and non-levy revenues are over budget by $13,121. And even despite the shortfall in ambulance revenue this month, you'll see year to date we are over by $44,000 in ambulance revenue. The biggest reason we're seeing such a small variance on non-levy revenue is because we projected a $30,000 grant that has not occurred. On the expense side, our total expenses are $606,643. which is pretty much right in line with budget. We're over by $368 on our budgeted expenses. So although we are over, we're pretty much right in line with budget though. Unless there's any other questions on the finance report, that concludes my report.
Gabe, it's Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
You know I always have questions. Why did the ambulance billers stop billing?
Well, when we were selected to go out for RFP, as you know, he did not respond to the RFP. Maybe let Chief respond to this one a little bit more, but he had sent a notice saying he was no longer going to bill for us. Chief spoke with him, and he assured that he would continue to bill until we found a replacement. And he's since now told the Chief that nope, he's found somebody to fill our slot, and that's why he stopped billing for us.
Okay.
That is pretty much it in a nutshell. I received a letter from Mediclaim Data Services saying that they were going to end December 31st. I had a conversation with Michael Sherry at Mediclaim Data Services, explained to him that we were still going out for bid. It was going to take a few months, and I wanted him to continue billing. At the end of that conversation, my impression was that he agreed to continue to bill for us. And I had recently called him in regards to a request for ambulance billing, and he said, nope, that's not mine. And I said, what do you mean it's not mine? And that's when he told me that they stopped billing for us December 31st. So I said, we had a conversation, you agreed. He said, no, I sent you a certified letter. And I said, I understand that, and I got the certified letter, but we had a conversation. He said, can you pick this up? And he said, nope, I've already sold your slot, and I can't do it for you. So I immediately called Gabe, and like I said, we were working to get the other medical biller online, and then we will just go back through and build all this stuff from December 31st forward. So
That explains why it's pretty low.
that explains, yes.
I'm on page 3, Gabe,
Okay.
on the balance sheet. Under other current assets, where it has PS, PRS, take it all the way over to change. Should there be a minus there?
On
See where it says change? My copy came with, it's under February 28th, 18, it's minus 1669.53. I go over to the change and show my question is, should be there a minus in front of that number?
No, it was showing as a credit balance on the balance sheet at February 28th, 2018, and it's now showing zeros, meaning it increased from the credit balance to a zero. So, and QuickBooks calculates all those and generates those numbers anyways, but it is correct, it is reflected accurately.
Okay.
Because it's going from a credit balance to a zero.
Thank you on that one. Under fixed assets, the $487,805.04. Does that include?
Yes.
Does that include the property that Station 41 sits on, and the library and the chamber?
So it includes the properties valued as we have in the records, as were in the records when we came on board. So it does include all fixed assets of the district.
So is your answer does not include that?
No, if it was in the financial records of the district, then yes, it does include that.
And I know the chief's going to talk to, we finally got a report about that property is in the district's name.
Okay.
And so there is values on that. So I'm going to guess, given that information, then this number will increase based on the information that we received, the report that was done.
Yes, it would if it wasn't already included.
But we don't think it was included.
Okay. All right. Then yeah. Then if that's the case, then yes, that number will increase.
And my question is to you. I have no clue what's in there. So is in those assets, I'm guessing, since we just got the report in the value of the property, that valued property is not in that number 487. Correct?
Again, I don't know that answer, Charlotte.
Okay.
I have to look. My understanding is when the fixed asset schedule was done, when that property was acquired, it should have been included in that, at that time.
Okay.
And depending on how it's titled and all of that, which I have not seen yet,
Okay.
it's going to be hard for me to determine if it was included in that number to begin with or not.
Okay.
But I will do my best to figure that out. And if it's not included, then yes, it will be included and will increase that number.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Same page, accounts payable. What do we have under accounts payable?
Accounts payable, I mean, I don't have that report in front of me, but that's just our ongoing bills.
Okay.
That's just our regular reoccurring bills that we have to pay.
Okay. And then,
So we don't necessarily pay everything by the 30th of the month. It's always a kind of a rotating number. Sometimes, obviously, Karen will get in and have everything paid for the month of February by the end of the month, which she did last year at the same time. But this year, there may have been a bill that came in on, the last day that was for February that's recorded as a payable.
okay. And then I'm on page 4 at the top.
Okay.
I was curious, the difference between February 28th, 2018 and this year, February 28th, under payroll liabilities. Last year was $57,000 approximately, and this year was $5,000. It shows a minus of $52,000. Can you tell me what that is? Why such a major difference?
Yeah, because last year, remember, we had the PSPRS payout. And then subsequently were not able to make PSPRS payments until PSPRS had updated their systems to be able to receive that payment. And so that's why last year we had such a huge carrying balance and that's what makes up that liabilities, our PSPRS liabilities specifically.
Okay. And is Stryker Financial the new equipment that we've taken that loan out for?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then under long-term liabilities, what is compensated absences?
That is the balance of our sick and vacation time.
Okay.
If it had to be paid out at year end, and we only do this once a year at year end, if sick and vacation balances had to be paid out, what is that cost? And so that's what that is at that time.
Okay. So right now we have that liability of about $24,000 if we paid everybody sick and vacation.
Correct.
Okay. And one more question on that page. Help me understand under equity, it says invested in capital assets and then unrestricted net assets. Can you tell me the difference of those, please?
Yeah, the invested in capital assets is the net of our assets less any liabilities against those assets. And then unrestricted is essentially our free fund balance, meaning the fund balance has not already been designated for something, whether it be capital assets, payables, anything like that.
Okay. Let's see what else I have. When I went over to page 5, I always like to compare this year, and you did it on the page before, this year with last year, and I don't see that on here. What I see when I go 4 columns over, it shows from July of last year through February 19th what those totals are. And we kind of talked about this. Can we get another column that shows what that is for just that particular month last year compared to this month?
I can't do another column, but we can do another report.
Okay.
And the one thing I will add is in budget-based financials, past performance, especially on expenses, is not always an indication of current performance. I mean, it will help. It will give you an idea, but we also want to see really watch where we're at trending from a budget to actual.
So
But
that's,
obviously, cash and assets and liabilities are items that we do want to watch that fluctuation year over year. But we could add in another report that shows the previous year comparison.
okay. And then looking on overtime wages and holiday, did we not budget enough this year for that, Gabe? Or am I know we have $3,364.28. is through February 19th, but then the budget's $1591. So
Yeah, and you'll look, yeah, we've been over budget, throughout the year. But we've got some savings in other categories that's kept us under. But frankly, it's not a matter of budgeting enough. It's a matter of we budgeted what we could afford. But obviously there's been needs that have required staffing above and beyond that.
okay. And what are PR taxes?
Payroll tax.
Sorry. And then I'm looking under workman's comp. We didn't budget anything for that this year, and we have $1,516 expense to date.
No, it's just a timing. If you look over to the year-to-date budget, it's just a function of timing.
Okay. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see if I have
You're welcome.
anything else. I love talking to you, Gabe, so. Okay, I think he explained under managerial costs, the ambulance collection fees were 0, and that's because we thought he was doing it and he wasn't doing it. And I think, let me just check in my packet here. Oh. Okay, you answered who Stryker is. His new name. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, Gabe, I have a couple questions. This is
Okay.
Ellen. On page 5,
Yes.
miscellaneous income, fire income, sale of surplus equipment, and interest income, in that little category there. The fire service income is 0, and sale of surplus equipment is 0. Have we had no billable out-of-district fire calls?
Not to my knowledge. That'd be a question for the chief.
Oh,
I can clarify that, we have that, but we have not received any payments.
oh, okay.
So it's not that we haven't billed, it's that we haven't been paid.
And the sale of surplus equipment, is my understanding we sold an ambulance recently? We don't have that, has that not?
We sold 2 ambulances last year.
Oh, last year?
Yes.
I thought it was something recently. We
No,
had.
recently, we sold 2 fire trucks, but the monies have not, they just sold at the end of February. So those monies are not reflected on this month's report. And then there's a 30-day, because the auction house handles all the payments for us, so we don't have to deal with it. There's a 30 to 45-day lag time on when we actually get the check from the auction house.
Alrighty.
How much will that be, chief?
It's in my chief's report.
I'll wait then. It's in-
But I can, yeah, I got those figures for you.
Okay.
And then further down on that same page, under vehicles and equipment, on the vehicle fuel, $18,788. Do we have a breakdown yet of what vehicles?
No, we don't.
And the vehicle maintenance, $25,205. We don't have breakdowns for that yet, for which vehicles?
No.
No, we don't.
On page 6, on the legal fees, $24,706. Do we have, does that include the one we just received? Is that $8,000 or something? Does that include that $8,000?
I don't think so, because the check hasn't gone through.
I don't believe it does. No.
Okay. And our budget for the year is $10,000 of that?
Yep.
So we're like 20, we're over budget. On page 8, city towing for $831, do you have a vehicle for that? City
Say that
towing,
Oh, that was from Tony's truck rebellion.
No, that's not the entire cost, it doesn't, That would probably be the entire year. And every vehicle that is towed is covered underneath our insurance, so we get reimbursed by the insurance company. So when you see that $831 for city towing, they're somewhere in buried in all of our payments is payments from VFIS for the towing cost.
That's just, this one's just check number 8005 to city towing on February 5th. The one that I'm referring to is like 5 items down, 8005.
Right. Without the check sitting in front of me to know if it's
Well,
for multiple tows or one single tow, I can't tell you.
Could we have vehicles, Gabe, could we have vehicles in the memo line for what these bills are relative to?
Yeah, so Karen does all the bill payments and stuff, Ellen, so that'd be something that happens on the bill payment and not the financial reporting.
Got it, okay, thanks, Gabe. Chief,
You're welcome.
could you make sure Karen puts in the memo lines what the bills are for? What vehicles or equipment?
And some of them in the memos you see it, but if the memos get too big, it actually doesn't show up on the report. We'll try to get that
Yeah,
handled
you
for
can just
you.
maybe abbreviate them so that we have some idea. Who is Tim Smith? I see on page 8.
Tim Smith is Smith Truck Repair.
Oh, okay. Do we have an item? We don't have a $952. Do we know what that was for?
Smith Truck Repair has been doing a lot of work on Water Timber 428 at this time.
Okay.
So a lot of the associated costs are there, unless there's some other miscellaneous bills. And when we pay, we could pay multiple invoices, and it just prints out on one check for
Right.
Yeah,
multiple invoices.
and that's kind of one of the limitations. But again, this doesn't like cover, the financial report doesn't cover every single detail of every single transaction in the district.
Right.
But that's kind of one of the things is when you have multiple items, when it prints the check, it kind of collapses everything and doesn't give you any memo. And so that's what's kind of occurring on some of these.
I see, okay. So on page 8, continuing down to Stryker Flex Financial for $1,235.20, is that the monthly payment on that lease for
Yes,
the
it is.
heart monitors?
Yes, that's correct.
$1,235 a month is what, okay. And that's for 5 years?
I believe it was a 5-year term. That's correct.
I had just one suggestion, because, well, this kind of did it, I guess. Yeah, that's okay, never mind, that'll be okay. That's all I have.
Ms. Castaneda. Dave, this is Eric. I got a couple questions for you. And I don't know
Yes, sir.
if you'd be the one to answer them or it would be the chief. I see our utilities are running almost $500 over budget. Oh, sorry, it's on page 6.
Yeah.
The first line. Is that because of our Frontier bill?
Is Frontier, no, I believe that's a separate line item, isn't it?
Yeah, Frontier would be included under communications.
Yeah, it's a separate line item. So if we're running over budget on electricity, it's been hot or it's been cold
$484.
with the unseasonably 18 inches of snow that we received. You know, I'm sure our heaters were working overtime. I did put, I saw in the hallway the other day, I put a lockbox over the thermostat so the duty crews can't adjust the thermostat anymore. And that helps, but it's set on 67 degrees.
Oh, that's cold.
Well, okay, so the next item, which is the very next item, which is on the same page, janitorial expenses. That one's $400 over budget for the month.
Paper towels, toilet paper, cleaning products, anything that's covered under janitorial, so when they come to me and say we're out of paper towels or we're out of toilet paper,
I just thought 400 was a little
yeah, that is quite a bit. I didn't realize that we were over budget on that item, but that's.
Okay.
Do they buy in bulk? Is that why you're buying?
I try to buy in bulk. You know, usually I go to the local dollar store if we need something. But if I get a chance to go to Walmart, I can buy a larger package, and it's usually cheaper.
Okay, that was all my questions for you, Gabe.
All right, thank you.
Under the financials, though, would the credit card come into the financials?
Yes, it's included in the financials, so if you have any questions regarding that, we can answer them now.
I have two questions. One is, why did Station 43 need a $196 gas grill?
That was a replacement for the gas grill that was at Station 43. That has since broken, so I went ahead and replaced it with the cheapest one I could find.
Is that like for cooking, Chris?
Yeah, it's a barbecue. It's just a replacement barbecue. They had a barbecue there that was out of service, so they asked me to get them a new barbecue, and I purchased them a new barbecue.
Next question would be the laptop that was purchased. Where did that go to?
Yes, the laptop that was purchased was also a replacement for a laptop that was broken. Those are the laptops that the duty crews use on the ambulance to do the reporting. And the screen was cracked on the first one, so I went down and purchased another one. And I've been trying to find if we had a warranty on the first one, and it doesn't look like we have a warranty, so I'm checking on cost for replacement of that screen.
Okay. That was it for my questions. Do you have anything?
Nope.
Well, if nobody has anything else, I think that's it for that part of it, Gabe. We still got you for
Thank you.
We still got you for a couple of things on our agenda, though. So,
Yep.
okay, the fire chief's report. Oh yeah, yes, we should.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the financials for February.
I will second that. We have a motion and a second to approve the financials. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. All those opposed? It's passed. Okay, now we'll move to the chief's report.
Okay. On the run report, I did not receive any information from AMR on what they had on their logs as transports from AMR or from our district, but according to my records, there was none. Our transports were 25, the refusals were 8, refusals billed were 3, DOA was 1, fires were 5, service calls were 6, good intent calls were 5, false alarms were 6, for a total of 59 calls. Highway 93 responses totaled 14, and 3 of those were not responded to. Days covered in mean view for March, initially reported were 11, actual to date is 13. April, we have 13 days covered on the schedule at this time. The number of times I've responded after hours was 4. Meetings and training, run review and pre-hospital, Mohave County Fire Officers Association, a dispatch committee meeting, wildland committee meeting, active shooter meeting with Mohave County Emergency Management. I had a meeting with Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, and I attended a PIO class. In reference to the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality meeting, we had a long meeting with those gentlemen. This is the first time they've been out in about 25 years, and they are visiting all the fire districts in the area, and they're going over our burn permits and our statutes and legal jargon in our burn permits, and they've given us some advice and some pointers on how to change some wording and update our burn permits. And they also responded to a complaint in the local areas, not within the fire district, but in the local area, and they did address that complaint as well. In the dispatch committee meeting, we went over changes within dispatch and upcoming changes, and there was also a discussion that was prompted by Golden Valley Fire in response to the monthly reports that are sent out being in error, and also trying to work with the dispatch to put out a report that could be given to the board as a run report versus going through and doing them all manually ourselves. And so that discussion was had because Golden Valley was having some of the same issues that I was having with the reports not matching. And there are some columns that just are blank with a number in it, and we're trying to get those issues clarified as well. What is the blank issue? Wildland Committee meeting, wasn't much to say about that. Active shooter meeting in Mohave County Emergency Management was just going over regional responses and regional teams for active shooter in Mohave County. They're trying to get regional teams together to have a more robust response to any kind of active shooter events in Mohave County. I did continue with my education and public information officer, and I attended another class there as well. District properties, the title search is in the packet. I believe it's also on the agenda as one of the discussion items, so I'll leave that for that. Water tender 428, we've been doing quite a bit of work on that one. We put a new fuel solenoid in and a new starter. We recently found out that the ECM is bad, and we haven't got, I got some initial pricing today, but there's 2 or 3 different avenues that we're looking at to try to find the best price and availability for the ECM.
What is this?
That is the electronic control module for the entire truck. So we had it tested, they told us there was nothing wrong with it, we brought it back, the truck still wasn't starting, so Smith Truck Repair did a bunch of diagnostic work, and we sent it back, and they said, oh yeah, there is something wrong with it. So now we're dealing with that issue. Chief 401 had new injector harnesses installed this month. The two surplus trucks have sold. The 77 Boardman fire truck sold for $1,560, and the 78 Chevy fire truck sold for $1,925. Projects in the...
Do they take a fee out of that, Chief, or is that the amount we'll see?
Seller pays all fees. That is what we will be receiving for those trucks.
Okay, thank you.
Projects in the works, I submitted a grant to the 100 Club for 4 new sets of turnouts. In the other column, I put the road widening and path to the school, to the library. According to what I read in the newspaper articles and what I received from Mohave County, is that that road widening is going to start sooner than expected.
Do you know, do they indicate when that might start?
They were talking within the next couple of months, I believe, in the newspaper article. Which I was told it was going to be January 2020. So I think the date got moved up.
Okay, thank you.
There are many new laws and legislation that I learned about in the Mohave County Fire Officers Association meeting. The one that came to mind that was most in particular that will affect us directly is a law banning residency requirements for fire districts, and they fully expect this one to pass. So basically what it's saying is it's going to be legislation stating that you will no longer be able to have a residency requirement for any employees employed by the fire districts. And that is the end of my chief's report, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Chief?
Nope.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Mr. Chair, can we ask questions about the chief's report at this time?
No, there'll be a call to the public. You can ask questions at that time. Which is now, actually.
Since we moved to the beginning. meeting.
Call to the public. Consideration and discussion of comments and complaints from the public. Those wishing to address the Lake Mohave Rancho Fire District Board need not request permission in advance. The Fire District's board is not permitted to discuss or take action on any items that are not on the agenda that are raised in the call to the public. However, individual board members may be permitted to respond to criticism directed to them. Otherwise, the board may direct that staff review the matter or that the matter be placed on a future agenda. The Fire District Board cannot discuss or take legal action on any issue raised during the call to the public due to the restriction of the open meeting laws. With that said, do we have any public comments?
Mike Carriage, 29570 Patterson Lane, Amelia, Arizona.
Can you come a little closer so we can get that on recording?
How you doing, board members, chief? Mike Carriage, 29570 Patterson Lane, Meadview, Arizona. I'd just like to ask the chief, what is the reason for our decline in coverage in Meadview the last couple of months? If he has any kind of figures?
Answer.
You can't answer.
No, if he wants to ask me afterwards. If you want to ask me afterwards, but as far as the chief report,
because I know in the past it had been of between 20
the
and 30.
governing board may not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on the matter unless specified or is properly noticed for legal action. They can ask me to study the matter and schedule it for future consideration or discussion, or you can hit me up after the meeting and I can give you my best.
Okay, thank you.
Can that be an item that we put on the next agenda?
Anybody else?
I have provided you all with copies of what I'm
Yeah.
going to
A
read.
little closer.
This is in response to the social
Can
media.
I get your name and address for the...
Phyllis Aiken, 16564 North Lakeside Drive, Dolan. In regards to my statement on my term was dismissal of the chief that was not good form. That was information that I gathered from Carol Ann that had posted it a week before. And with the contention I have witnessed within the board since moving here towards the chief in his direction, I'm the one that speculated that there was a dismissal. No one else. That was not disclosed by anyone else. My concern is the replacement if you choose to let the chief retire. I hope the person's qualifications meet his and or better or greater, because the way I understand some law in regards to employment, you have set precedent. You take his qualifications and you meet those with a new one or surpass it. The same with and including an administrative assistant. Now, also there was another social media comment, as in a few. There's more than a few. You cannot tell me that all of you board members are not concerned with the direction of this district. You all care. You might not always agree, but you do care, or you would be here, correct? No, you're not. You can. So, those that work at the station, both in Dolan and Meadview, are very friendly, respectful, and accommodation to all that walk through the doors. The door, you know the crews are there 24/7, unless they're out on a call. And yes, people come to that door and want to come in and be helped, which I have witnessed the chief do, and everyone else within there. They cannot be expected to be a citizen's doctor. They can do the basics, and they can say, this is something you need to address with your physician. They're not a clinic. the situation going on and losing Tony, because he has worked so hard with you long-term members to get this district to where it is today. And if you're in disagreement, I believe, in representing me as the public and everyone else in the community, to make the steps to continue on that path. And this is something that I am going to place on social media in response to a comment. I have given you a copy of it prior so that you're aware. But I don't find fear porn or a few or a Mickey or Minnie Mouse can do the job. I find that offensive, because that's not the case. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Scott Aiken, 1656 4 North Lakeside Drive, Dolan Springs. I would like to stand here and express my thanks to Chief Tony for all the hard work and dedication he's shown to the citizens of Dolan and Meadview and others. And I just want to express my grave concern on the future of this fire district if you allow Tony to retire. I've got grave concerns on the efficiency of this fire district. As a citizen of Dolan Springs, I don't think it's in the best interest of the citizens of Dolan Springs. Thank you.
Anyone else? We have a letter. Can somebody read that into the record?
I believe that falls into our meeting. That's not called the budget,
That's
that's
not
correspondence.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I thought that was
Is there
part
a
of
separate section for correspondence? Because it used to be.
I hope so.
Here, it's.
In correspondence. Okay. We have no more public that wants to speak, so correspondence would be next, right?
Oh,
It is.
sure.
You want me to read it?
Yes, because I can't.
Okay, yeah. This is authored by Stephen Wynn, and it says, "To whom it may concern, I am a full-time employee of Lake Mojave's Rancho Fire District and have been employed for 2 years with the district. This letter is to state my concerns with the current and future status of the fire district. I have learned that the current fire chief, Tony DeMaio, has resigned from his position with the fire district. I have worked with Chief DeMaio for the last couple of years and have found he is a fair and good chief officer. In my time with this organization, I have supported nearly all of Chief DeMaio's decisions. I have not blindly followed him for the simple fact that he was the chief. I have respectfully questioned anything that has caused me concern. I have and will continue to support Chief DeMaio. It is my belief that the fire district will be put in a difficult position to find another chief officer of his abilities. A chief represents to the public, and most importantly to the employees of the district, the stability of the organization. While elected officials may come and go with each election cycle, it is the fire chief that should be the foundation that an organization is built on. So the resignation of a fire chief should be a cause for concern for any fire district. I have had the opportunity to be involved with a few fire districts. I can say from my observations that a change in the chief officer leadership is time of uncertainty. I have witnessed both full and part-time members of an organization question their commitment and their futures with the organization during this time. I have witnessed members plan and take positions with other organizations due to changes in leadership. I can speak for everyone involved in this organization. I cannot. correction. I cannot speak for everyone involved in this organization, but I do suspect this is going on even at this moment. The leadership in an organization is what brings in staff to the organization. While good leaders can bring and inspire good employees to flock to an organization, the inverse is true for poor leaders. I would implore that those who believe staff can be replaced at will look to what training it takes to make staff competent in their positions. I would also ask that those same people look to other organizations in the area and see what, if any, difficulties they may have finding, employing, and retaining competent and trained staff. I have heard rumors for the succession plan for this organization. Now, while at this time they are merely rumors, I can say that I am questioning both my commitment to this organization and my future with it. I was not here during the period of insolvency this department went through in the past. With that being said, I do believe this department will fall to standards well below what the citizens of this district deserves as a bare minimum. With that belief in mind, I am currently evaluating positions with other organizations and attempting to determine my own future with or without this organization. Respectfully, Stephen Wynn.
Okay, with nothing else, we're going to move on to 7 business. Gabe, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, item A, discussion and possible action regarding the entire cost of chief and administrative assistant line items, COBRA for chief's position, number of annual leave and sick days, chief has remaining, monies available from other